I'm a mother earning less than $10 a day. Sounds like very little, doesn't it? But today, as I walk around Hoi and Market, I realize I'm not the only one struggling like this day after day. Here, there are so many aunties, uncles, and older sisters getting by on even less than I imagined. And yet, everyone smiles, everyone is warm and welcoming. It made me wonder, does happiness really depend on how much money we make each day? Hi everyone, I'm Kim. I'm 37 years old, a mother of two young daughters. My family lives in a rural area just across a river from Hoi An's old town. But that river marks the distance between two very different worlds. On one side, the ancient town buzzing with tourists. On the other, a place where most people have to work far from home, take on extra jobs just to earn enough to get by. Right now, honestly, my income is under $10 a day. Not a big number, but it's what I have. I always hope for a little more so my two daughters can go to school just like their friends do, so our family can live a little more comfortably. Even just a little would be enough to feel happy. Prices here in Vietnam, especially in the area near Hoi An where I live, aren't as high as in many other places. But with an income like mine, making ends meet still means careful planning, saving wherever I can. There's no room for spending freely. This is the very first video I've made, so there will definitely be rough edges, shaky filming, and awkward voice reading the script. I hope you'll understand and support me. In this video, besides introducing myself, I want to take you around Hoi An Market, a place familiar to both locals and tourists, and share with you a little about the daily life of people who sell here. The first thing that strikes me every time I walk into Hoi An Market is how lively it is even early in the morning. The ladies are already sitting at their stalls, vegetables neatly arranged, still fresh with morning dew. I stopped by the first vegetable stall. A bundle of greens here ranges from $0.40 to $1, depending on the type and the season. The seller smiled warmly at me, asked what I was planning to cook, then told me which greens are best for soup and which are better stir-fried. The way she cared about even a small customer like me really warmed my heart. A few steps further, I reached the fish section. Prices here vary quite a bit from $0.80 up to $15 per kilogram, depending on the type of fish. Smaller freshwater fish are cheaper, while the larger, fresher sea fish cost much more. The smell of fish mixed with the sound of knives on cutting boards created an atmosphere very typical of a Vietnamese market, something I imagine many of you watching from abroad might find unfamiliar. Right next to it is the pork and beef section. Prices range from $5 to $15 per kilogram, depending on the type of meat and the cut you choose. One of the sellers told me she wakes up at 3 a.m. to get her stock, then sit selling until noon. Hearing that touched me because I know that feeling myself, waking up early, working hard just to earn enough to take care of the family. There's something I want to share with those of you watching from abroad. Most of the sellers at Hoi An Market don't actually live in the old town itself. They come from surrounding areas just like where I live, traveling a distance every day to sell here. Only a handful of coffee shops and souvenir stalls belong to people who actually live inside the old town. It shows that this market isn't just a place to shop, it's a livelihood for so many families from the countryside around it, families just like mine. Going deeper into the market, I passed by the general goods section. Everyday essentials here start from around $0.40 and up depending on the item, everything from soap and laundry detergent to cooking spices. Looking at these small items, I found myself thinking about how I have to calculate my own spending every day just to make it work for the whole family, and I believe many people here are doing exactly the same thing. I stopped at a small food stall inside the market. Prices here are very reasonable, just $0.80 to $2 a meal. Depending on what you order, you can eat until you're full and for under $2. That's really something to be grateful for, especially for those of us with low incomes. Walking past the flower section, I paused for a moment. Prices here vary widely from $0.80 for a small bouquet up to $50 for larger, more special arrangement. Looking at those bright, colorful flowers, I could only stand and admire them. I didn't dare buy one because even a small bouquet would be a real expense for someone with my income. But watching people buy flowers for each other still made me smile. I also noticed that tourists are fewer this season compared to a few months ago. The souvenir stalls look quieter, and many sellers just sit looking out at the street, waiting for customers. This must affect their income quite a bit, but I still see them sitting there patiently, no complaints, just quietly waiting. There's one moment from today that I know I'll remember for a long time. I met a vegetable seller, probably in her 60s, sitting in a small corner of the market. Her stall wasn't big, just a few bundles of water, spinach, sweet potato greens, and a couple of squash. I asked her how much she usually earns in a day. She smiled gently and said that on a good day, selling everything brings in just a few dollars, and on a slow day, she just takes it all home to eat herself. But she kept smiling, kept chatting happily with me, even asked how many children I have and whether they're well behaved. In that moment, I realized something: having a low income doesn't mean a life without joy. It's not that they have nothing to worry about, but that they've learned to accept things as they are and find happiness in the smallest moments of each day. That realization comforted me a lot, someone who's also struggling with a modest income of my own. This video isn't meant to complain or dwell on hardship. I just wanted to share honestly and with compassion a glimpse into the everyday life of selling at Hoi An Market. A place full of people who, despite earning less than $10 a day, still work hard, still welcome others warmly, still treat each other with kindness. This is the first video I've ever made, so there are certainly a lot of imperfections, an awkward voice, some shaky footage I had to cut out so it wouldn't be hard on your eyes while watching. I really hope you'll support me and share your feedback so my future videos can be better. If you ever get the chance to travel to Vietnam, I think it's worth visiting Hoi An at least once and taking a walk around the market to feel the real rhythm of local life here. Since this video already has a lot to cover, I'll stop here for now. Thank you so much for spending time watching my very first video. See you in the next one.
cá rồi chi không?
Được không?
Không chịu nướng mấy này.
Ăn gì không?
Được không?
Cái này chín này, nên mua cái này.
Có tháng thì cạo vậy.
Con nhà ông 10 kia nó còn 27.
I actually heard him order it, and I was like, look at you.